War Eagle Auburn family, welcome back to another edition of E2C Network Live, where we get together and we talk about something that's going on in the Auburn family spectrum. Always heavy on the sports here, but if it's orange and blue, it is what we do. Thank you for joining us from the mobile broadcast studio, aka my car. Thank you guys so much for joining another post-game live stream where we just react, talk about what we just saw either in person here in the frigid cold, the Arctic apparently, of Jordan-Hare Stadium, or you watched it from the comfort of your home. Final score 13-10, right? I can't even remember at this point because I'm just so excited and just so happy. A level of happiness that I haven't felt in quite some time, to be honest, during Auburn's football season. My goodness, folks. It's great to be an Auburn Tiger today for so many reasons, and we will touch on some of them through our live stream right now. Do me a favor, though, if you're watching right now live especially, even if you're watching on the replay, but let's all do this in unison together right now. Everybody smash the like button. Here on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, you can do similar things, retweets, all that stuff. Listen, don't do it for me. Do it for Coach Cadillac. Smash it right now. And as usual, use this as your check-in period to post where you're watching from, city, state, international. Want to know who's here hanging out with me, talking about Coach Cadillac getting his first win in Jordan-Hare Stadium. Never in my life did I think I would be witnessing something like this. The campus is still not full, but still popping with life and energy. I have not seen this at all this season outside of really Missouri, but that's not at a nighttime game. Really just thrilled to be here on campus experiencing this with the Auburn family. It was a night I will never, ever forget, and I will try to get into some more details about that here in a minute. Do want to say hello to a bunch of you that are already here. Cody, Michael, looks like everybody got in a little bit earlier too. Brian, good to see you. Everybody's starting to check in. I see Devin. Corey Benson was here a little bit earlier. It looks like a lot of people got here earlier. Thank you guys so much for being so committed to being here and being on the stream. Let me just start off by saying this. And frankly, I'm going to try to put this maybe in the better words written later. I saw the very first win for Coach, not Tuberville. I was still very young when he got there, but I saw the very first win for Gene Chizik in person. I saw the very first win for Coach Malzahn as a head coach in person. I saw Brian Harson's first head coach in person. And I can't believe that I'm about to say this, but I have seen Coach Carnell Cadillac Williams' first win as a head coach in person. Yes, there is the interim tag on that, but can we just ignore that for a second and just gush in the fact that Carnell Williams, for now, is our head coach, and he got his first win in Jordan-Hare Stadium. A little bit close, a little bit scary. Devin, I am not ashamed to admit, I think I hit him from Elvis. I was sitting with him throughout the game. He was kind enough to offer his seat that was available for me, so I didn't have to freeze in the upper deck. That, yes, Ryan, I will openly admit to you, I did not weep, but my eyes got a little teary when that man ran out of that tunnel. I never thought I'd see the day. I never thought I'd see the day. Just over the moon, ecstatic for Coach Cadillac. Because here's the thing, folks, and I've said this before. We all have these heroes, childhood heroes we grow up with. Cadillac was one of mine because he was my Bo Jackson. Everybody, I think, when you get older especially, understands that your heroes sometimes maybe aren't what they live up to, your imagination. They don't seem to be, when you really get to know who they are as a person, that genuine of a person, things like that. I don't know Cadillac personally. All I know is what I see out there now, what he's putting out there and what he's doing. Not only is the man your head coach, but he seems to be the type of guy that you want to have as your head coach. Now, listen, we're not talking about is he going to be head coach, but I'm just talking about the fact of him representing my team, my hero, lived up to the billing as a person and as a coach. I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that. I hear you. Look, we're not going to focus on this stream. Let me fix this. Sorry, again, I apologize. As always, throughout the stream, keep me updated on if anything kind of gets wonky, audio or otherwise, because you know how this goes in the mobile broadcast studio, aka my car. We're not going to really discuss that tonight because we'll get plenty of time this week to discuss that. Listen, my little Auburn heart would love nothing more than Coach Cadillac getting named, but that's not the reality of what's going to happen. So let's just enjoy what we have right now. This day is worth all the tears. Man, I never thought I would see it. I just honestly never thought I'd see it. Yes, you should hop in here and hang out with us a little bit more. Darlene, good to see you. Ann W, one of our newest Patreon. And I've sent you an email. Let me know if you've seen it in the, email. Send me an email or in the Patreon thing. All right. Give me some of your comments, questions, derogatory rebuttals. If you got them tonight, I might get on to you if you try to bring me off my high right now. But let's see. I wasn't sold on him changing anything, but that energy was insane for a losing football team. Yeah. I mean, just think about this, folks. Cole Cubic got the interview with him at the end of the game and even addressed, this is a 3-6 football team. Nobody cares about on the outside. How did you do this? It's all about love, man. Is it cheesy? Yes. Is it corny? Yes. But it's real. When you love something as much as Cadillac seems to love Auburn, it just works sometimes. Yes, Corey, can we all celebrate this? Sorry, Aggie fans, if you somehow, I don't think they're going to be watching this, but my goodness. Y'all are the worst team I think y'all are worse than Missouri. And that's saying something. Don't they play each other at some point? Or have they played each other already? I have not seen a team of 5 stars be that bad at the game of football in quite some time. That's a bad football team, y'all. And we are not the worst. Let's relish that for a little bit. Good to see you. Kind of maybe, I know I've been gushing about a lot of the feel-good stuff, but let's talk a little bit about the game too. Robbie played amazing too. So Robbie, I think, again, and I think sometimes in the moment it comes off me being a little bit harsh after the fact in these reactions, but I still continue to want a little bit more from Robbie, passing game-wise. Not that he's been given every opportunity to do so, improve that, but here's what I continue to say. Robbie, given our circumstances for this year, gives us the best opportunity to win. Holden, we've seen him do 2 series, and he looked like a freshman from those 2 series. So given the nature of TJ no longer with the team, supposedly, Zach's out for the year, Holden's a freshman. Let the boy do let him learn on the job. But I continue to want him to progress a little bit more in some decision-making issues and stuff like that. But we are not in this game without Robbie Ashford. I don't want that to be lost, even in some slight constructive criticism. Yes, absolutely. Obviously, for a lot of us, I'm sure many of you share similar beliefs as I do. Seeing him, praise God throughout all that is just very inspiring for me personally. Yes, they absolutely did. The TV commentators were shocked by the reaction of the fans and the team. I mean, how could you not be? This is a 3-6 football team. This is a football team that basically had to have a little bit of luck help it win against Missouri. This is a football team that got beat, destroyed by Penn State, Georgia, Arkansas. How would you not be surprised at that? I'm surprised at it. I keep pushing the wrong thing. My fault, guys. Whoop, 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 whoop. And I hope I didn't mess it up. Sorry. Defense was lights out. Can we all just take a minute to praise the defense tonight? Offense got some things rolling. The big things for me tonight that really frustrated me were the mental mistakes. It's one thing to have mental mistakes when you don't already have an offense going, but the offense was rolling tonight, and then we would get a false start or a holding call. and it would kind of negate the momentum we had just built, or we would make a poor decision or a turnover. This is a football team tonight in Auburn that should have won this game by, it was 13-10, right? It should have won by 23-10 minimum. Turnovers are really what hurt us tonight. Yeah, so we got to get those figured out to some extent. Tang was a beast with his runs. Tank was tonight. Jarquez. Can anybody quantitate? Can anybody count up how many reverses we did tonight? That is the most reverses that I have seen. I shouldn't say that. I've seen some pretty crazy games that I can remember in quite some time. I think the offensive line played well tonight. If you weren't aware, Brandon Council went down in the game for a little bit. I believe he came back in. It's hard for me to know exactly who goes in and out from the stand point of view, when those of you on TV probably have a better perspective. Jaleel Irvin had to come in at center again. So again, fourth center this year. And somebody else, offensive line wise, I think got tweaked a little bit too. Jeremiah Wright was pulled off to the side at one point, but he wasn't really, didn't look like he was like stretching anything like that. He was doing drills that I wonder if that was just kind of a discipline thing or something like that. All that being said, the offensive line is still not where it needs to be. Let me just go ahead and say, I'm not trying to sit here and say that they are outstanding, but we are seeing improvement, and that is all we have asked for. That's all we've asked for. Is it a combination of them getting better and being put in better positions to suit what they can do? Absolutely it is. But they're still getting the job done. So I don't want that to be missed. Someone who has been heavily critical, hopefully it comes across as constructively critical, of the offensive line. I want that to be said loud and clear tonight. Thank you, guys. You gave us an opportunity to win this game. Let's see here. The hype video. For those of you, I'll be honest, the video, when I saw it played earlier this morning, it loses a little bit of its luster when you just watch it on a phone. But when you're in the stands with the crowd reacting to it, it's a thing of beauty, man. Thing of beauty. Best misdirection plays we have tried all year. Some pretty basic ones too, just simple reverses for the most part. Direct snap once, which I think that one got like 2 yards, but it's nice to see them kind of put a lot of things on tape. We need to hold on to the ball a little better. Absolutely agree. Absolutely agree. Put some touch on his passes. Yeah, Cortland. So some of these criticisms of Robbie are just because of age, of experience, right? So I guess that's where I always see people like raving about what Robbie's doing. And I want us to do that, but I also want us to be realistic about it. He's still making a lot of the mistakes that you would expect at this point, and that's something that needs to be corrected. If we can get Robbie, whatever that means, better positions, to be more successful as a thrower, or just giving him more opportunities or whatever, I want to see him improve as a thrower, because if he can do that, Robbie Ashford's going to be a really good quarterback. Let's see here. Quit letting the guys eat the greasy foods so they can hold on to the ball. So can I ask you, did you guys, in the stands, we were kind of discussing it, the last fumble, was that a horse collar that caused it? Help us understand that one. Yeah, I know you probably saw, I recorded a bunch of stuff. I just haven't put it all out there yet. But recordings don't do that justice. This place was rocking tonight. And I mean rocking. And it's, in one sense, it's sad to say it took this to get us to that point. But in the other sense, it's poetic. Yeah, listen, I think you guys probably, if you weren't able to be here tonight, definitely got a feel for through all of those things, maybe. So you're saying yes to the horse collar situation. So we thought so as well. That's what I take it that you're saying yes to. But, hindsight's 20/20. Look, if there's any Texas A&M fans that want to fuss about that weird non-fumble. We fumbled it anyway, and you got it. So it's kind of like it evened out. You had your opportunities. Don't make excuses. All right. So let me give you guys a little bit of an update here on the phone. I'm at 10%. We're not going away just yet, but we're probably going to have to wrap up here in the next 5 to 10 minutes. But we'll keep going. Don't run away just yet. We'll keep moving. But if I disappear, it's because the phone died. Or I might have to switch over audio, but I don't know if that's going to mess it up. So we'll go for at least another 5-10 minutes. If I'm still feeling it, maybe I'll switch it over and we'll just see what happens. Let's see here. Robbie had a guy wide open for an easy score and overthrew him. Yeah, absolutely he did. That was very he was horse collared, not sure it caused the fumble. So it was the horse collar before. Anyway, it's water in the bridge at this point. It was an interesting thing that we were all trying to discuss there in the stands tonight. So look, offensive line created some opportunities for the run game. The running backs took advantage of it. Running backs did a really good job of just outrunning some guys sometime, which is really weird with all this talent that Texas A&M supposedly has. And they're getting outrun on corners and stuff by Auburn. I will say both defenses, I think, stepped up a little bit in the second half. Obviously, Auburn, it was like we went from 1 3-and-out in the first half, I think, to 5 or 6 by the end of the game. Texas A&M did a good job as well. So got to give them a little bit of credit, even though they're a terrible football team. When I started this football season, y'all, I did not think I would be saying Texas A&M is the worst team in the SEC minus Vanderbilt. Now, Vanderbilt got a win today, so maybe Texas A&M is the worst. I don't know. Maybe we need Texas A&M versus Vanderbilt to figure that one out. Oh, man. When he got dunked, we all lost it or had it dunked on him, but you know that man was hurting. It was a very weird game. The emotions weren't weird. They met expectations, but the happenings were very weird. So I know this isn't really important to the game, but this is a reaction show about anything in there. The funny thing was, we all heard about how cold it was going to get, but we got in the stands and it's like, oh, this isn't so bad. Even it was already dark, the wind was still going. So like, oh, we're good. About the middle of the second quarter, we all started like shivering, and that's why the stands in the upper deck emptied out. I had tickets in the upper deck, but luckily, as I said, Auburn Elvis had an extra ticket that he was not able to give away or sell. And so he had an open seat. So he said, why don't you sit down here? I said, I will gladly do that. So I did not freeze up there. Got to have better quarterback play. Absolutely. I mean, we discussed that a little bit already. I don't know how long you've been here. A little better quarterback play and some mental mistakes. I think this could have been as big a blowout as Auburn can muster this year. So trying to think of other things that stuck out tonight. Talking about defense, the middle guys of the defensive line, Marcus Harris, Jason Jones, Morris Joseph. Now, he plays technically defensive end, but the way we've kind of set up our defense this year, it's mix and match, right? The really true ends or edges or Derek Hall, Colby Wooden type situations. But I got to give credit to my guys in the middle of the defensive line, creating pressure, wrecking havoc. Colby Wooden, that strip sack situation. Oh, man, just lots to be excited about tonight from our guys up the middle. It's something that we knew they were capable of. We've seen it from the edges a lot, like I've talked about, but seeing that pressure up the middle created more opportunities for the edges and the ends, and it's a thing of beauty, man. This is a team that's got talented players on it. We shouldn't be 4-6, but we are. Yes, he does. He's a mean dude in a good way for us. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do. I want to keep going because I love meeting with you guys real quick, but I'm nervous about what's about to happen. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this. Turn the car on. Y'all hear that? That should not be playing that loud. I'm also going to take my headphones out. If for some reason It does not switch over. Stand by for just a second. If we can't get it back, we will just end the show. So I appreciate you guys being here. A second. All right, let me know if you guys can hear me. It sounds like maybe you can. I'm not certain. Let me know if you guys can hear me in the chat. Let me know if you can hear me. Yes. All right. We are good to go. So now we can continue in our discussion. Thank you guys so much for your patience. I know that. Does that sound better? Does that sound better than what I was just doing? Let me know if that's better or worse or anything like that. If that's better, then I won't do that way anymore because I can have my phone hooked up. Thank you guys for your patience, though. All right, let me look at a couple things. Well, maybe I'll respond to that. Cadillac's gone up against 2 veteran coaches in his first 2 games as a head coach and has played both extremely well. And look, so you guys know me well enough that have been here for a while about how I like to operate from both sides of an argument or from a discussion point. When Auburn has been as low as it has been, and you have a guy like Cadillac with his connections, his belief and meaning towards this program, it's very easy to insert that into a team that needs that, has the talent already there, and get success out of it. But your point still stands. This is a guy with no head coaching experience, and he's made him competitive. Not against the best of the SEC, but at least competitive, and that's all we could have asked at this point. You sound underwater. Okay, so maybe if I sit back further, there's technically a speaker right here, so I apologize for the sound being a little bit garbly now. So now I know that those headphones are definitely a little bit better. So we will make this toward the end of all that stuff. So thank you guys for letting me know that. Thanks, Ryan. Okay, cool. Always good to learn how to better make the mobile broadcast studio. I will be honest with you. Quick aside, I know we'll get back to football talk here in a second. I've had a lot of people in discussions with me asking, I keep remembering things to talk about, sorry. Discussions about doing a live stream from an actual location here on campus and stuff like that. You know, I'm wanting to do that someday. I have a portable charger, Devin. I can't plug that and my phone headphones. It's a weird thing. It's not worth getting into, but trust me, the main thing is I just ran out of battery power and my portable charger thing ran out in the stadium, so I was really low. Regardless, we're good for now. So maybe we'll do some of those things next year. I don't know. Other thing is I met 2 viewers tonight, and I am, Leanne Owens, I think it was, and who I believe is a Patreon member, and Bill Taylor. I'm so sorry. I asked both of their names twice, but I met 2 individuals that either listen to the podcast or watch the stuff on here. Thank you guys so much for coming up and say hello. I love that. Please do when you're out in public. Anyone know A&M's address? I want to send them a plunger and a toilet scrubber for Christmas. My goodness. Whew. Yeah, it's a rough life for them right now. Emotion can get you a long way, but it's a dangerous also. It absolutely is. So I would agree with Stuntman. I think this is what he's trying to say. This is fine for now, but and it may even serve us against Western Kentucky. Look, folks, the likelihood that we beat Alabama in Tuscaloosa in any given year is very minimal. It is much lower this year. We will not be able to beat Alabama or be competitive with Alabama just on emotion alone. We will need to do these things that we talked about already in the live stream. You will need to have continued better offensive line play, which we have begun to see over the last few weeks, and a better running game. You will need your passer to be more efficient, better decision-making, give him more opportunities, too, and that probably would come with time and comfort level for this makeshift coaching staff. You need to stop the turnovers. We know the interceptions are probably going to come because it's Robbie, he's a young quarterback. Those things are going to happen. And that interception, into the half, I don't count against him. That was just a Hail Mary, right? But We need to stop the fumbles that we are giving up, opportunities that they shouldn't have. This isn't basketball post-game live stream, but thank you for keeping us updated. What's sad is that's about the level that the basketball post-game memes got to on that. Stop the penalties and turnovers. You understand some of the penalties for the offensive line because of how makeshift they are now. There's a lot of continuity issues and things like that. But some of these guys have been doing this for at least 2 or 3 weeks now that have been inserted into it. You got to start getting something going a little bit better. Some of that's maybe on game management situations with Robbie and all that kind of stuff too. I don't know. Listen, I have some leeway I give them, but I also want to start seeing improvement and them not ending drives. Easy to do what you did at home, end drives, and still have opportunities to make up for that with your atmosphere and things like that. On the road, Alabama, that will not serve you well. Brandon Council, I didn't get the official statement because, we're in the stadium. We don't really get a lot of that information. But apparently he got tweaked in some way. I'm assuming legs. That's usually the way these things go for linemen. And he did come back in, is what I was told. Pass interference will be, I've heard about this Western Kentucky offense. And, I think maybe we'll get tested by that a little bit. But here's if that's what you're getting at, Michael, the other thing to remember that is this is going to be probably maybe kind of like we played Mississippi State and we thought we'd get tore up by them. If we can create a pass rush like we did tonight, it's not going to be that big of an issue. He holds the game for record for most games in the Auburn uniform. It feels like that. He's been around forever. Yes, absolutely. We want to note those things that we need to work on, but we overcame them, and we got the W. That old phrase that we sometimes laugh about, but it's true. A win is a win is a win. That's funny. So, so I'm trying to think of the other things that we talked about. The middle of the defensive line. Linebackers, I thought tonight had some really bigger moments. We talked to some of our breakdown and grades live streams about how the linebackers didn't really seem to show up. Owen Pat-Poe tonight, Cam Rowley, I noticed a lot flying in there making some big hits tonight. Thankfully, that wasn't a targeting call. Did y'all think that was targeting? From our vantage point, it could have gone either way. But I don't know. I just know that I noticed the linebackers a little bit more tonight. Caden Bridges was the one, right, that made that play. Boy loves to play some football. He really does. The defense. Guys, we haven't even talked about the big obvious thing that everybody's been calling for. McPherson. He got the start tonight. Things were so crazy at Tiger Walk. I forgot to mention it after, posted out there. I don't know if it's been mentioned by anyone else, but Anders was in a sling on his arm. So, in my mind, this was not a benching. This was the guy's hurt. So, you got your wish. McPherson played. His first kickoff wasn't great. Missed his first field goal, but made up for it with the other two. And you can see that he's got a powerful leg. So, future seems very, very bright with him. Yes. You should have heard some of the Texas A&M fans today. They were commenting about his buyout. I'll put it that way. Let's see here. Derek Hall, again, playing lights out. So is that confirmed? He's out for the season? That is confirmed? Which is just you hate to see. Okay, there we go. So I wonder what happened. Did he land wrong on it or something? Did anybody get word of that? I missed that completely. Of course, when I'm on campus all day, I'm focused on other things as opposed to keeping up with what the breaking news is and on stuff like that. I'm more about the experience and things like that. That sucks, man. Great for McPherson that he doesn't have to burn a red shirt, that he can get some experience. But, God, it sucks for Anders. It is not the career that I think he envisioned for himself, nor did we envision for himself.
I'm happy to have had him, though. 2 kickers like the old days, 1 for kickoffs and 1 for field goals. Now, it used to be punters and, just punters and kickers. Now, back in the old days, like my old days, Damon Duvall was the everything kicker. I miss those days. On the kickoff last week. Okay. Well, there you go. Okay. That's about it. Anybody else nervous with the way the game ended? That whole situation of just kneeling it down, letting Robbie run around. I just for sure knew Robbie was going to have a bad snap or something like that, or fumble it, or on that last little play where he had to run off the clock. I was so nervous. I just wanted this one so bad for Caddy, just to have that on his resume. You could see how much it meant to him. Andy asking how the atmosphere is in Auburn. Incredible. I'll just go out and I'll just say it. Best of the year. And Penn State weekend was just outstanding until the game really got going. But still, this energy today, the fall weather, the loudness of the stadium, the excitement. It's somewhat sad to say that it took this, but it's also poetic. Let's see here. Had the flashbacks to the Iron Bowl for a minute there, yeah. They were visibly tired, but all that rotating they're doing is helping out with some of that. Injected into my veins. Yeah, which is weird that they all started cramping on a night like tonight. I was at that game, Brian, and I did not feel it was the same way because we weren't supposed to beat Florida in that game. We were supposed to get killed by Florida, and I mean, I guess I could see some parallels, but not a lot. Anyway, all right, here, we'll do this. We've kind of hit a lot of the big notes that I wanted to hit tonight. I do want to kind of start moving towards wrapping up now, especially now that the audio is not as great. What other topics, what other notes that we haven't talked about tonight, or if there's something that you'd like for me to reiterate or something, bring that up right now. Let me give you my usual stuff at the end of the show. Next thing we have coming up, tomorrow night, 9 Eastern, 8 Central, another live recording is planned for the Auburn experience. You know we will be talking about this experience this weekend and Caddy getting his first win. So don't miss that tomorrow night. That's the next scheduled thing. Be staying tuned throughout the week here on YouTube for more content that we're going to have coming out. By the way, I just put out a new walkthrough video of the Auburn Football Performance Center, or the Wolfsel, I don't know how you say it, Performance Center. Go check that out. You'll get my perspective on the media tour. This is like not a lot of people there, just us, the media people, walking around together, looking at stuff that I don't even think the public got to see. Go check that out if you haven't, and check out all the links in the description. I did have one of our people today that I met and came up and said, asked how they could support. Always check those links in the description. There's a thanks button on YouTube you can hit if you just want to donate one time. It's not required. The big thing you can do is smashing the like button every single time you're here. Also, leave a comment on YouTube to make sure that you're entering yourself into our giveaway. All right. A few more comments and questions here. I've heard of a lot of people coming to Western Kentucky. If you have not come to Auburn, come to Auburn for the Western Kentucky game. It's the last game of the season. Conceivably, it will be your last opportunity to see Coach Cadillac as your head coach, just playing the odds. Don't miss it. If you can be here, you get a ticket. I wouldn't miss it for the world, people. And it'll be in the middle of the day. It'll be nighttime, obviously, by the time the game is over, but it'll be a lot. Even if it's cold, you'll at least have the sun out to some degree. I don't know what gear has shifted into our O-line, but we had both of our running backs get over 100. Who was here for the pregame, the preview on Thursday night? Remember talking about our predictions? I believe I predicted If both our running backs hit 100, we win guaranteed. I'm just saying. It's like I've watched this thing before. Oh, did I mention this, guys? I met John Cohen last night. Friday night. So last night. Here at the locker room. I didn't do a locker room live stream because there was a lot going on. I did walk through it, though, because I just like to because it's the opportunity. He's in there just meeting people. Super genuine guy. Walked up to him, shook his hand, told him welcome to Auburn. He asked each of us who were coming by our names and wanted to know it. Seems like a super genuine guy. Trying to see. Don't miss that show tomorrow night. It's going to be a little bit good. A little bit good. It's going to be a big good. Players getting a little bit testy with each other. Don't need no Mississippi State Fight Club. Oh yeah. Score was 13-10. Certainly did. All right, let's see what else you guys got here. Imba, he had to get pulled out, right? Morris Joseph, Jason Jones, Marcus Harris. The first time this year that I am like over the moon about the middle of our defensive line. They've had some good moments, but this was a good game for them. In fact, I will go back and look at the stats, but I'm already kind of thinking about our show for Monday night, our grades and breakdown. They're probably going to get an A. Just saying. Did you give him your 2 cents on a new coach? No, but it was really funny. The guy who was standing there right when it was, of course, or right before me was talking his ear off about it. I'm like, dude, he's not listening to you about your advice for this. But I just said, hello, welcome to Auburn. Glad to have you here. But this dude was like talking his ear off. Tuberville game, slow paced, heavy offense, drawing the clock and playing amazing defense. That's not a bad comparison. I don't mind that comparison. How many years does LG? I thought Morris was a grad transfer. Is that not right? We had so many of these grad transfers, it's hard to remember who has multiple years of eligibility. I don't feel like he's got much left, if any. Don't know that. Yes. Always love having people about being part of our little family in the Auburn family. Thanks for stopping by, Brian. All right, guys. I think we have done good work here on this live stream. It has definitely been one of the more productive ones, more pleasant ones, more jovial ones. Can I just say this again, folks? Cadillac Williams is a winning head football coach. Well, 1-1, but all intents and purposes, he got himself a win here tonight. And as I'll open the stream the exact same way I did, was I saw Gene Chizik win his first football game here. I saw Gus Malzahn win his first game here. I saw Brian Harsin win his first game here. And tonight, I saw Cadillac Williams win his first football game as an Auburn head coach. 13-year-old, 12-year-old, I don't care how young he was, Kyle, never saw this day coming. Never in a million years thought I'd see this. And I couldn't be happier. Hope you guys are happy too. Thank you all for being here. Smash that like button on the way out. And I appreciate you all being part of our little family within the Auburn family and hanging out with us on a post-game live stream. I'll see you later tomorrow night at the very least here on the channel. Love you all. War Eagle.